All right, we are starting this video off at the gas station on a journey to Orlando. And I will hop in the truck here in a moment, explain what we're doing. But first, let me finish gassing up. All right, got done filling up my tank, $104 gone just like that. And I just pulled over into this Home Depot parking lot here because I'm about to get breakfast at Chick-fil-A before I hit the road. So this video, what is it about? It is another towing video. It's going to be kind of like a part two. Now, my previous good towing video was my RV when I took it from Dallas to Orlando, Florida to Disney. Mostly it was about the mileage and what kind of mileage, and a little bit about how well this half-done truck does pulling it. And honestly, it did really great. Mileage was pretty bad. I mean, I think it was like 7.8 or 8. I don't remember. I have to look back at that video, which I'll link to that video in the description. So this time, I'm going to do something similar, but a little different because I'm going back to Orlando. But no RV this time. This time, I'm going racing. And so I've got this enclosed trailer. My car is already loaded up in here. And so we're going to see what kind of mileage I get this time. I'm going to try not to go as fast. So I expect the mileage to be better for a couple reasons. First, this trailer sits lower than the RV does. I think the weight is going to be about the same. Luckily, my car is only like 3,600 pounds, so that helps with the weight department. I think overall the weight should be similar to the RV, but again, it's not as tall. It does have this little V front here. And then unlike the RV where the weight is really spread out and some of it's up high, all the weight is really along the bottom. It sits pretty low. So I think that might make a difference. So whereas that video was good for the RV people towing, this video is going to be more for the people towing cars and cargo. And it'll be interesting too because I'm going to the same place, so I'm taking the same route as that. And we're going to see what kind of mileage we get. Now, there's one other difference. So my truck is squatting a little bit because unlike the RV where I had the equalizer weight distribution hitch and anti-sway control, this I do not. It is just straight up on the hitch. But even though my truck is squatting a little, the trailer looks good. The trailer is sitting pretty much level. I don't think sway will be an issue, especially because the car, most of the weight is in the front of the car. So I think sway-wise, I should be fine. It's not as big of a wind sail as the RV is. All right, so we're here in the truck. Got my Chick-fil-A. We're all set to go. We're gassed up. And let me explain what I'm doing here really quick. So I just filled up, but we're not counting that towards my mileage because what I'm going to do is we're going to start the trip with a full tank. We're going to get all the way to Orlando, get back, and then we're going to fill up when we get back. And that fill up when we get back to get it back to full will be counted. So basically that way we start the trip with a full tank and we end the trip with a full tank. And that way you get a pretty accurate mileage and fuel costs. Obviously now the fuel costs are going to be a lot higher. So first let me reset my meters here. So this is the mileage part. Let's reset. You can see we're averaging 15.5. And now we're set to 0.0. It says our range is 424, but it has no idea what our mileage really is. So let's go to our trip. Okay, so we got trip B, which by the way, my trip B, I always keep so that that's the lifetime of the car. So you can see the lifetime of this truck is average 15.2 miles over 93,000 miles. So we don't want to mess with that. Let's go to trip A. All right, so here is trip A, and this is where we will hold to reset. Everything is at 0. And then obviously, besides what the truck says, I am going to keep all the receipts and keep track of the exact gallon and price and everything that I fill up every time. And we're going to calculate the actual mileage as well. Oh, and by the way, just so you see our trip from here to, which I'm north of Dallas, to Orlando Speed World, where the drag strip is, it is 1,138 miles. It says it's a travel time of 17 hours, 41 minutes. Obviously, we're going to take longer because we're going to drive a little slower. And obviously, we'll have more gas stops. And I'm not going to quite drive straight through because I'll fall asleep if I did. But because I'm by myself, I'm just probably going to stop at a rest area. It's enough about that. Let's get on the road. All right, green light. Let's see how this thing gets to moving. I mean, power-wise, it's just like every other trailer, just like the RV. Again, I think weight-wise, it's pretty much equal to the RV. So the biggest difference is going to be aerodynamics and the center of gravity. But, I mean, we already know this handles it no problem whatsoever. brake test, and yeah, braking is no problem even with this trailer, so it's feeling nice and smooth, even though normally I would have braked a lot sooner than that, but obviously there's no way I could. What are they doing here? All right, so that's gonna be it for this part, and I will be back later. Crossing the mighty Mississippi on the way to Orlando. All right, my first update for the towing video here and how we're doing. I didn't really get much during the drive because I was just enjoying my drive. I was cruising along. It was kind of nice. I was keeping a steady 65 for the most part, and it felt good. I felt not rushed. Nice little change of pace. So right now we are in Florida. I'm actually just outside of Crestview, Florida, just in the Panhandle, kind of north of Destin. And I'm at the rest area right now. I'm going to stop here for a little bit. So anyway, let's do a quick update. So I've been on the road for 12 and a half hours now. That does not include gas stop, pit stop, because that elapsed time is only when the truck is running, or actually the key is in the on position. So you can see we've traveled 722 miles. I'm at 9.9 miles per gallon, so better than the RV already. Even only going 65 slower than I did the last time, I'm still averaging 57 miles per hour. Now, the mileage, it was interesting because the first part, I was actually holding a steady 10.5 all the way up until I got to about Jackson, Mississippi. And then from Jackson, Mississippi to Mobile, Alabama, it was kind of hilly with a lot of uphills, and my miles per gallon just dropped right all the way down to 9.5. But then as soon as I got past Mobile, on the kind of pretty much flat road for the most part, it's slowly been steadily going back up. So I think we might be able to hit over 10 miles a gallon. We'll see. So that is the first update. See you in a little while. All right, well, I'm almost to my destination. I've got like 24 minutes, 19 miles. I figure I'd do an update now because I'm just here stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic in downtown Orlando, basically. So I'm up to 9.6 average miles per gallon. I've been steady 65 on this portion, a little bit faster, but closer to 70 on quite a few spots, but still 65. You can see my average mile per hour is 58. It was 59 before I hit all this traffic, but I'm up to 1,116 miles, which is about right. So I had another 20 and I'll be at my destination. Elapsed time 19 hours and 10 minutes. Oh, I forgot to say, this is day 1.5. I call it 1.5 because I only slept for like three and a half hours last night at the rest area and then just got back on the road. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Man, everybody, of course, you know, I'm pulling a trailer, so everybody's got to try and cut in front of me. This is an interesting accident. I've never had one where the outer lanes are closed and they guide everyone through the center lane. That's different. Oh man, they are cutting me close right here. What in the heck? Oh man, that cop car was like way over, and they've got these cones tight. Like, I don't know how the big semis made it through. Man, that was tight. Okay, anyway, clear road now, so we'll be back in a minute. All right, well, we are here at the track. I'm at my destination, and this is going to be the first part update. So we are at 9.6 average miles per gallon for 1,137 miles at a elapsed time of 19 hours 43 minutes. I didn't leave it idling too long, so most of that is driving time or traffic time. I'm not sure if I'm going to reset it for my second half trip after the weekend because I'm going to do a little driving. But yeah, that's it for now. So check out my other video too if you're into racing. So I'm going to do plenty of other videos for me racing in the Modern Street Hemi Shootout and Horsepower Wars. If you're not into that, don't. All right, so see you next time. It is time for a return trip home for the mileage. So let me give you an update where I am. I had to idle the truck quite a bit today, throughout the day and yesterday. So that brought the mileage down. It went up because I did about, I want to say 50 miles. I'll have to see what, I'm at 1227, whatever I was before, subtract that. I just went into town because I went to KOA cabin, take a shower, literally checked in, took a shower, and checked out. That was interesting. Anyway, that's off the topic. So I'm driving there, and then I drove down the island because it was right by the Cape Canaveral, so I took like an hour. I was like, oh, let me just check this out, drove through it, and then drove back. So that's probably around 50 miles or so. So that took the mileage up to like 11, and now idling it for so long, it went down to 10.5. So now it's time to get on the road, and I'm gonna get as far as I can tonight, hopefully at least to Gainesville, Florida, and then stop whatever rest area I can find, and go sleep for a few hours to get back on the road. So we'll see what the mileage is. I was not planning on leaving this late, but good news, I won my one drag racing class, 11.5, and then they have a class of all the winners of each classes for King of the Hill, and I ended up winning that, and that's why it is now 11 o'clock, and I'm just finally loaded back up and ready to hit the road. And I know it has nothing to do with this video. I'm pretty excited tonight, so I'm just gonna throw that in there for anybody watching that's into drag racing. So let me get on the road, and we will update and see what kind of mileage we get with this trailer all the way back, full round trip. All right, so a quick mileage update. I actually only got like about, I want to say 30-40 miles east of Tallahassee, and I just got tired, so I stopped this rest area, got a 2.5 hours sleep, something like that. This morning now I feel good, everything is good. I just want to give you a quick update. It didn't take long for the mileage to adjust back down. We're back down to 9.1 average mile per hour. I forgot to mention that earlier. It's dropped way down to 47, probably because of all the idle time. Before, on the way here, it was at like 58. And so we still have the most of our trip left. There's at least 1,000 more miles left. So we'll see how that adjusts down, but I will have that finished today, so we will keep going for now. All right, so we got another update to the towing a enclosed trailer with the car inside video mileage, something like that. It's been a long drive. I've been driving for near 24 hours, well, with a few hours stop in a rest area for sleep. So it's been a while. So now total mileage, we are so far at 2,341. Our average mile per gallon is 9.1, average mile per hour 51. Again, we idled a lot. That really took that average MPH down. But we're at 9.1 miles per gallon. We were down as low as 8.0 at one point, going through like Mississippi, and then actually mostly Mississippi. It must have been, and I think I feel I might have had a headwind a little bit too, but once I hit Texas, it just, I feel like the road, the terrain got more level, and it just started picking up. And I've been cruising mostly 65. Now in the first half, I probably was getting closer to 70, but average 65, because there's plenty of places I was doing like 62. So anyway, I just want to give this update. So I've got like 20 more miles to go, basically. All right, well, we're back in my truck, and it's been some time since we last finished this trip to Orlando, towing the enclosed trailer. First thing I did after I got back from the trip, I went ahead, filled this tank back up to full. That way we ended with the exact same amount of gas that we started with. That way we get actual correct numbers for everything. So with that, the final numbers we ended up with, we traveled a total distance of 2,363.6 miles, and according to the truck's gauges, we averaged 9.3 miles per gallon with an average speed of 51 miles per hour and a lapse time of 45 hours and 47 minutes. Now keep in mind, that does include a lot of idling time again, which I brought up a couple times, and I believe, I'd say it's a couple hours worth of idle time almost. Also, that elapsed time counts anytime the key is in the on position, whether engine is running or not. Okay, so gas-wise, the most important thing, we pumped in 269.892 gallons of almost all 91 octane fuel. There was one exception where I put in 22 gallons of 93 octane premium, and that's because I kind of split, and I did split out the cost because I filled up my gas can for the car. So I was just like, well, let me just keep going, so I don't have to like redo my card at the pump or anything. But I did again split out the amount that I put in the gas can from the amount that went into the truck, so that way we keep all accurate numbers. Okay, now all of that fuel for this entire trip cost me $1,183.77. Now remember, this trip happened in late March 2022. So at the time of this video that's being released, when I'm doing this update right now, 91 octane is probably closer to $5 per gallon, so that price would have been a lot more. But at the time, the average price per gallon that worked out to is $4.38 or 4.386. So, you know, round up, you can say $4.39 per gallon is the average that I paid at the time. Okay, now since we have all that data, we can calculate the actual miles per gallon that we really truly saw, not what the truck thinks we saw. So the actual calculated miles per gallon we achieved was 8.758 miles per gallon. So if we round up to kind of the 10th place, which is what the truck does, that would basically be 8.8 miles per gallon. So with the truck say 9.3, so we got about half mile per gallon actual less than what the truck said. And this, we found out that the smaller trailer does get a little better mileage. In fact, first, let me just tell you, just a recap, what we did with the RV. So with the RV, we traveled a total of 2,422 miles, averaging speed of 55 miles per hour, elapsed time of 43 hours, 51 minutes. So again, you take out the idle time from this trip and the numbers are gonna be exactly the same. In fact, both cases, it was tow mileage to Orlando, then a little bit of driving without the trailer hooked up in the middle, and then tow mileage back. So pretty much everything is exactly the same, except that idle time kind of threw it for a loop. So now in that go around, we used 320 gallons of fuel, and we actually got an actual calculated mileage of 7.548. So basically let's just say 7.6, round to the 10th place, keep it all steady. So we actually got 1.2 miles per gallon better mileage on pretty much the exact same trip with a slightly smaller in wind sail area trailer, but weight is pretty close to the same. Now speed wise, again, the average speed was higher. If I didn't have the idle time, the average 51 probably would have been closer to 55, maybe 53, 54. So enclosed trailer, obviously it makes sense in so many ways. It's gonna get a little bit better mileage than a big RV trailer. But we're not done yet. We are gonna keep going on and check the differences with different things that you might be towing. So next video coming up, make sure you're to be subscribed so you don't miss it. I actually towed my car again to the East Coast. Not quite the exact same trip, but the same distance and the same general direction, so same terrain, except this time we're gonna do it on an open trailer. So now aerodynamics is gonna be completely different. And I think you'll be shocked at the difference in mileage with an open trailer versus enclosed versus RV. And so definitely stay tuned, because that one will be coming up soon. So if you like this video, or if you didn't, whatever the case may be, don't forget, like, comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you at the drag strip.